So what did you just say? Get out of your own fucking way.
Get out of your own fucking way.
All right.
That's a big deal for me.
Yeah,
You
right?
know, don't listen to anybody else's chatter,
Yeah.
because it becomes cluttering in your brain, and all you keep hearing is those words that you're not good enough. You can't do that. Oh, what are the other people going to say? What are the next door's neighbors going to think? And it's just like, fuck it all. Just do what you got to do to go where you need to be, and why your purpose here is, like, why are you here on earth? You're here for a reason, and you have to share those talents that you have. And it's like, it's just so eye-opening how that I knew from a young age that I'd always be something. And I was trying to remember last night, I read a book by Gay Hendricks.
Yep.
And he talks about something about, I can't remember the words exactly how he says it, but he says something about siblings. As you're growing up, your dad always tells you, like, to dumb it down a little so you don't, like, make your brother or your sister look stupid.
Oh,
I have that. I had that. That's how I grew up. And, I was always, like, dumbed down, and I always felt like I was a genius from when I was little. I mean, even my scores would come back. I didn't even have to work hard to go to school. And it was just easy. And I felt like I always knew more than other people. And my dad used to always make me try to, like, dumb it down. Like, you're a girl. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Especially being Greek, you have to be, like, quiet and timid. And how they used to always say, children should be seen but not heard. What the fuck is that? I should be heard. What if I have something really good to say at, like, 5 years old? Why not?
yeah. Well, you're one of those, like my friend. She, at 6, she thought about thinking.
Yeah, and no, it's true. I used to draw. I remember always, I was like 5, and I loved Charlie Brown and Snoopy and Woodstock. And I would just, like, they would bring me these color books coloring books. And instead of me coloring the freaking book, I would actually draw freehand what I was looking at. And they would, like, be amazed at what I would do. And then I always wanted to be an artist, and I never went forward with it because my dad kept telling me, oh, they don't make any money. Well, what the fuck? I'm an artist right now, and I'm making money without even trying. So what the fuck? I should have never listened to him. Parents don't always know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're just trying to do a little better than their parents. That's it.
Yeah, and they put filters on us, whether that's from their own fears or it's from their own
Exactly.
or culturally. Oh my God. And fears. Part of the filters are their fears, like of bugs even, or snakes, or
yeah, they don't want you to get hurt. They're trying to, protect you. And I was just reading a documentary about that, how parents helicopter their children so much that they don't let them experience shit. And it's true. As a parent, I could say that sometimes I'm so worried that my kid's just going to fall in that pothole that I fell in once. And I don't want him to do it. But you know what? That's what made me who I am today. Whatever I went through made me who I am right now at this point in this time. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with my son. Sometimes I feel sad that he had to go through, like, 5 years of everybody fucking dying and being sick and in the hospital. I have freaking pictures galore of him sitting in the hospital, worrying that somebody was going to die. And, I feel bad for him, but you know what? Does that make him a different person than the kid next to him? Of course it is, because he has compassion. He understands that, life is not forever. And, I remember when I was, when he was little, his little fish died, and I, had to teach him about death. My uncle died. I had to teach him to come to the funeral, and he would flush the fish down the toilet like Nemo, and I would tell him, send him off to Nemo. And, but, he understood that he was gone. I think you really don't have to shelter, children. Believe me, I know, because I've been dealing with it for how many years? I mean, when my mom passed away, I was reading my book, and it was a lot of journaling that went through, the past 8 years of what I've been going through. But at one point I had to write a letter to my mom. This is going to be fucking scary, but, and when I wrote that letter to my mom, I read it last night and I was like, wow, because they told me, you know, whatever anger you have, you need to let it go. And I want you to like curse, whatever you have to say, I want you to say it. And it was big for me to read that letter again last night, because I was like, shit, I didn't know. Well, I do, but I don't use it. Like, I don't like constantly hold on to that, because, you know, I actually tell her, I don't know if you want, I could read you the letter, but I tell her that if you loved yourself, you would be here. And because you didn't love yourself, I feel like you didn't love me enough to stay and fucking fight for your life. And it was really an eye-opener, you know, like, again, last night, after I wrote it so many years ago, it was like, yes, you have to like want to be here. You can't just like say, yeah, I want to be here and I want to fight for my life and try to, you know, like live your dreams and not try to fight whatever it is. You know, I just found out the other day about the sleep apnea and how everything works with it. And I'm excited to like move forward with my health right now. And it's connecting again with my cookbook, but it just, this is my life. And I've been dealing with it for 8 years now. And I've been always doing my own thing. You know, I multitask because I'm so freaking
We
busy.
think, as women especially, we think we can multitask, but we can't. The brain totally can't. All right, and you know that. Okay, so finding your best friend, what does that really mean to you?
Well, and when I started writing this book, I started writing about all my friends that passed my life. And I felt like each one was there at a certain time in my life when I really needed them and they needed me. And then we lost touch and we came back again. And there's certain friends that were always like angels to me. Like, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be who I am right now. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of mentioned them. And like, I think I mentioned this to you when we first met, is like, as I started writing my cookbook and this book, a lot of the friends that I had lost touch with over 25 years, we have reconnected on Facebook somehow. And we kind of met up. And it's really cool because they needed me in their life and I needed them in their life. So it was like a connection. And I'm going to tell you, for years, I've been wanting to like open up a nonprofit called Friends. I said, I really need to open up a place to just connect community with each other so that we could do like walks and like talks or just hang out and play some cards or whatever. A safe place, you know? And I've been saying it for years. And this book is just like something that just popped up in my head, like while I was thinking of the other book. And I said, you know, who is my best friend? And, you know, as I've been coaching a few clients, like I told you, I have a few clients, I'm noticing they have the same issue. They get together and food is like the only thing that connects them. But there's other things that could connect you. It doesn't have to just be food. And so I've been kind of helping them to realize that it doesn't have to be about food. You know, it could be about just going and hanging out and having a cup of coffee and chatting, because communication is really missing. And again, I'm coming back to my speech background with communication. If you don't have that back and forth, and you know this, you know, you don't have that back and forth, you can't live. I mean, seriously, you need to have hugs, you need to have touches, you need to have love, you need to have all these things are what makes you a whole person and a healthy person. Without them, you can't have them. Now, but if you don't love yourself, and that's what I'm finding a lot of my clients are having issues with, is finding that they don't love themselves or a part of them. And I found that as I worked with others, I found out that I didn't love me in my belly area. And that came up this past year, that I had so much hate for my belly, and it's the only thing that I can't lose. It's not even allowing me to breathe. That's how bad it's become, you know? And that's what I just was told, that I don't have COPD. I have fat in my belly that's actually pushing on my diaphragm, pulling up the space for my lungs and making it tight.
Wow.
So that's why I'm having, and I always knew this. When he told me this yesterday, I was like, literally, I had diagnosed myself like 4 years ago, and I had asked a lung doctor when my cousin Mike was in the hospital. He was in for mesothelioma or something, and when I found out that his pulmonologist is there, and we were chatting, and I heard all the doctors getting together and talking, because I understand a lot of doctor talk, and I went through physiology and anatomy. I heard them talking, and I said, is it possible that his fat is pushing up on his lungs also? And he said, yes, it's very possible. I said, because he's got a lot of belly fat, it could be pushing up. And I was like, shit, that's what I fucking have. And that's when I changed my whole stuff.
Wow.
You know?
That is so fascinating. I love it.